50,000 Persian troops, including 5,000 cavalrymen, set foot on the soil of Marathon and pitched their formidable camp in less than a day.
Oh, Athena, tu sohoplitas heis niken hegesaio, to megetsos dakpheneias persas katabalusa, hai daktines makairas, hemin photi augazdoyen.
In Athens, it's all we can think about. The army of Darius the Great has landed. We hear it's only a day's march from the city. And with the memory of the sacking of Miletus and the massacre and enslaving of its inhabitants still fresh, many Athenians are gripped with fear and beseeching the gods. Without divine intervention, they believe it's impossible to escape the enemy.
Oh, Athena! Oh, Athena! Tu soplitas, heis niken.
I do not agree. For the very first time in its history, Athens is faced with its own destiny and must fight. The Athenians have heard me. The citizen soldiers are heading to Marathon, a handful of men against a myriad of invaders intent on resisting.
After a day's march, all of the Athenian hoplites reach Marathon. They will soon be joined by their trusty allies, the Plataeans. Together, they plan on blocking the Persian advance by making use of the local terrain.
To have a good look at their enemy, at first, the Athenians take a defensive position about 1.5 kilometers away. This lets them block the Persian advance towards the city of Athens. And for a while, they can still hope, though with less and less confidence, that help will arrive from Sparta.
For 5 days, Persians and Greeks face off, neither of them taking the offensive. Everything is going to Hippias' plan, to have the Athenians believe the danger is at Marathon and to let them assemble there. The Athenians are still hoping for Spartan help and suspect nothing of what's going on behind their backs. The city of Athens is currently defenseless. Datis and Hippias are finally ready for action. It's time to order the Persian cavalry back onto the ships so it can see through its true objective, to seize Athens.
Oh, myriad, ektetes nuktos paradoxontis imbaine. Agelton person Hippias, brainen by nosin.
Tu salus strategus de tesan.
Takaky, pege. Ne tuton, yasomen. Ente.
Miltiades is in a mind to engage them in battle without further ado, but the generals are divided. Of the 10 strategos, 5 want to go into combat, while 5 believe they're unable to fight the Persians and prefer to wait for the Spartans.
Ian gartei pse hepoi koinones moi. Ilotira kai prote. Parilesin estai.
If we succumb to the power of the Persians, our punishment is decided. If we are victorious, our city will become the most important in all Greece. Callimachus is convinced. Naturally, Miltiades has been given command of operations. He is the most resolute. He knows we're alone and is no longer counting on Spartan help. His only concern is the obvious disproportion of the present forces and how to compensate for it.
Miltiades spreads out the Greek front line. He puts his crack troops in the center and gives their command to Themistocles. Then he concentrates the rest of his men on the flanks. Greek phalanxes excel in head-on attack, but are vulnerable on the flanks. They need to strengthen their lateral phalanxes to force the enemy flanks into retreat and make possible a pincer movement that will surround the Persian center, which contains their best troops, the Immortals.
Analabe! Brage!
Hauruhara birun bekishid.
"6,400 Persians have perished. Only 192 Athenians and 11 platoons have fallen on the field of battle. But the majority of the Persian fleet has evaded us."
Plektomin toiton polinion aritmoi. Kai doxan atanaton ton kalon irgon catalepsomi. Athenai mintoi kindune we kainu. Adunaton ta hopla katabali.
Vule poiesumenti.
Protes polios apixonta. Ilaton mia semeras. Pleusantes. Us tanen kre. Hos podon ikomen.
Meanwhile, the escaped Persian fleet is in fact sailing towards Athens. The Persians have such a reserve of men that their losses are insignificant and defeat at Marathon without consequence.
We have no time to patch up our wounded and recover from the fatigue of combat. Under Miltiades' orders, we advance as one at a forced march to Athens.
Aten muntazirimas.
Farabirun Bekeshit. Bebechit Verost.
Alone, Athens has withstood the Persian invader, considered invincible. 2,000 Spartans will arrive 2 days later, too late for battle, but on time to salute our valor. Our city will earn great prestige from this victory and be held up as a symbol of resistance to oppression. For here, at Marathon, a handful of men have just beaten a multitude of enemies.